Welcome to LatIMPACT public consultation on the monitoring and evaluation scheme for household electrification projects. Around the world, 1.5 billion people lack access to electricity. This is a strong barrier to development with negative impact on wealth, education, health, and safety of the population concerned. Solutions adapted to rural and poor contexts already exist. They are known, their efficiency is demonstrated, but they require significant investment to be implemented. Most of them are based on renewable energy sources like solar, wind, or hydro. Institutions that are working on the diffusion of it need support to reach larger scale and bring electricity to more people. To promote these solutions, two experts of energy access, LatIMPACT and Rexel Foundation, have decided to join forces and develop an innovative scheme for the sector. The objective is to provide technical and financial support to electrification projects and promote high-quality monitoring activities that are a key success factor. The partnership is based on a shared feeling that monitoring and evaluation often lack in the project. We are also convinced that such activities are crucial for the success of the project. On the one hand, it allows to improve efficiency and impact, and on the other hand, it allows to demonstrate the efficiency to all the stakeholders. For various reasons, monitoring activities are not a priority for developers. The lack of time, the lack of resources, the lack of skills, to name a few. However, we are convinced that rationalized methodology and scheme can help them to understand that such activities can be quick and easy to implement, do not necessarily cost a lot of money, and can generate very valuable information on the performance of their project. This way, we hope to convince the largest number of project developers to invest on monitoring and evaluation. This presentation is divided in 4 parts: a general overview of the framework, a description of outputs and indicators of the methodology, a description of monitoring activities, and a general conclusion. It will last approximately 20 minutes. Concerning the general framework, as said before, the idea is to raise interest on monitoring and evaluation for project developers and financiers. The scheme has 3 objectives. First, to build a solid monitoring and reporting process. Second, to allow a precise evaluation of the performance of the project. And finally, to make possible external certification and audits. Concerning monitoring and reporting. On the project developer side, the idea is to provide performance indicators from a simple methodology and user-friendly tools. Operational factibility should be a priority. On the financer side, the scheme should provide direct and continuous access to performance indicators of the project. It will also provide high-quality materials for communication about the project. Concerning the evaluation and performance analysis. On the project developer side, the scheme should help to identify good practices and strengths of the project. It should also help to share it internally within the institution and externally to all the stakeholders. Weaknesses of the project should also be identified, and improvement plans should be done by the project developers. In summary, a better understanding of the performance should help the project developer to maximize and improve the quality of the project. On the financer side, it's basically the same. A better understanding of the project performance should allow the financiers to optimize the support they provide to the project and have a better portfolio strategy. Finally, the scheme must be easy to verify by a third party in order to make possible external certification. External certification can bring credibility to the project developer and confidence to its financiers and the stakeholders of the project. LatIMPACT has the ambition to include stakeholders in the construction of the scheme. That is why today, the first version of the monitoring and reporting methodology is submitted to public consultation for 1 month. Anyone can participate, and invitations have been sent to various stakeholders and sectoral experts. The comments received will be duly considered and correction will be done whenever possible. On that basis, a second version of the methodology will be published in June. After a first year of utilization of the methodology, feedback will be asked to the users to see if they're happy with it and to identify potential improvement of it. If necessary, new improved version will be published and correction will be made. The feedback process will be repeated year after year. In this second part of the presentation, we will detail the indicators and outputs of the methodology. Our main focus is to provide a monitoring scheme oriented to efficiency and quality of the project. This means a monitoring plan which outputs really measure the performance of the project, not only absolute impact. A monitoring plan with efficient processes, making it economically attractive for project developers. A monitoring plan that is easy to use in order to avoid hidden costs, such as capacity building or training of the staff. And finally, a monitoring plan which outputs are reliable, possible to certify, and easy to communicate externally. The objective of that monitoring plan is to collect simple indicators allowing precise measurement of project performance. Such indicators can be divided in 4 categories. The ones related to the design of the project, the ones related to the usage of the technology, the ones related to the impact of the project on the targeted population, and finally, the ones related to the economical efficiency of the project. Concerning the project design indicators, the objective is to answer the questions: who are the end users of the project? What is the scale of the project? What are the technical characteristics of the project? To cover this information, 6 indicators are proposed. The first one is the number of households covered by the project. Each household accounted in this indicator must have received access to electricity and signed a delivery document. The second indicator is the number of end users covered by the project. It is calculating using the number of households multiplied by the average number of members in each household. The third indicator is the repartition of end users by type. 4 categories are considered: women, men, children, and adults. The fourth indicator is the installed capacity of the project. It is defined as the sum of capacity of each device or production unit of the project. It is expressed in watts. The fifth indicator is the useful capacity of the project. It is defined as the total amount of electricity that can be delivered in 1 day to the population of the project. It takes into account storage and distribution limitations of the project. Indicator number 6 is the lifespan of the project. It is defined as the expected time that the system can work efficiently without major maintenance or replacement. It is estimated from the data provided by the constructor. Concerning usage indicators, the idea is to understand if beneficiaries are using the technology, if this technology is adapted to the population needs, if the people are satisfied with it, and if it works well. 5 indicators are proposed to follow that topic. The first one, indicator number 7, is the satisfaction rate. It is basically the percentage of end users declaring they are satisfied with the service. Indicator number 8 is the usage rate. It is the percentage of households using the electricity on a daily basis. Indicator number 9 is the capacity usage ratio. It is the percentage of useful capacity that is effectively consumed by the end users. Indicator 10 is called reasons for non-utilization. It is a qualitative indicator that splits the population of households that do not use the system by reasons: technical reasons, economical reasons, or practical reasons. And finally, indicator 11 is called continuity of service. It is defined as the percentage of end users declaring frequent cuts of the service. Concerning impact indicators, the idea is to measure how the project impacts targeted population and more generally the communities. It is a large topic and many indicators could be used. To keep it simple, LatIMPACT proposed 4 indicators. Indicator number 12 is the consumed electricity. It is defined as the average quantity of electricity consumed by one household in one day. Indicator number 13 is the type of utilization of electricity. It is defined as the split of electricity consumption by type of use, for example, lighting, cooking, productive activities, TV, radio, or charging phones. Indicator 14 is the type of utilization of light. Getting access to light at night can have various effects on the family. Light can be used for children education, homework, entertainment and family life, the safety, indoor and outdoor, or just for having productive activity at night. This indicator provides a repartition for each type of utilization for the project population. Indicator 15 is called avoided carbon emissions. Electrification projects often replace a situation in which people use fossil energy sources with cleaner, renewable energy sources. Among the different positive impacts of such a switch, there is the decrease of greenhouse gases emissions and thus a positive effect on global warming. This indicator measures the tons of CO2 emissions that have been avoided since the project started. The calculation is based on the recognized methodology of the gold standard. Concerning indicators on the economical efficiency of the project, the idea is to know the full cost of the project, how it is financed, and how it will be sustainable in the long term. 8 indicators are proposed to follow that topic. The first one, indicator number 16, is the total cost of implementation. It is the sum of all costs necessary to implement the project and bring electricity access to the population targeted. If the implementation phase is not finished at the time of the reporting, it must be estimated from the budget forecast of the project developer. If the implementation phase is finished, it can be calculated using official accounting and actual cost. Indicator 17 is the total cost of operation. It is the sum of all the costs related to follow-up and monitoring activities engaged by the project developer after the implementation phase. All activities necessary to operate the project are covered, except heavy maintenance and replacement. Indicator 18 is the total cost of sustainability. It is the cost of activities planned by the project developer to increase the lifespan of the project. This refers to replacement of the broken devices, spare parts, or heavy maintenance of the system. Indicator 19 is the average cost of the project. It is the average cost necessary to provide electricity access to one person during 1 year. It is the total cost of the project, including implementation and operation, divided by the number of end users, divided by the lifespan of the project. It is expressed in dollar per end user per year. Indicator 20 is the extended lifespan of the project. It is the lifespan expected to be reached thanks to maintenance and sustainability activities planned by the project developer. Indicator 21 is the average cost of sustainability. It is the average cost necessary to provide 1 additional year of electricity access to 1 person after the theoretical lifespan of the project. It is calculated from the total cost of sustainability divided by the number of end users divided by the number of additional years of lifespan that will generate the sustainability activities. Indicator 22 is the percentage of the project budget financed by philanthropic funds. It is measuring to what extent the project depends on philanthropic funds to exist. Finally, indicator 23 is the repartition of philanthropic funds by source. It can be private sector grants, international cooperation, multilateral development funds, or even national or local subventions. Next part of the presentation details the monitoring activities that are necessary to produce all the indicators described before. Monitoring activities are designed following the life cycle of the project. During the implementation phase, activities start with the baseline monitoring. At the beginning of each cycle of the management phase, a report on the project efficiency and sustainability is produced. After that, at the end of each cycle of the management phase, project monitoring is done, a complete reporting on the performance of the project is published and verified by a third party. Verification and audit activities will not be detailed in this presentation. But let's have a closer look to the 3 other monitoring activities of the scheme. First, the baseline monitoring is done once during the implementation of the project. It is a continuous work done with each end user during the installation of its device. A delivery act and a small questionnaire is filled for each end user. The information on each household is collected in a detailed list of beneficiaries. This list allows the calculation of most of the indicators concerning the project design. Then, efficiency and sustainability report is the first periodic activity of the monitoring plan. It is done annually or every 2 years, depending on the length of the project cycles. Basically, it consists in a forecast and a reporting of the financial and sustainability parameters of the project. Finally, the project monitoring activities, which consist in field surveys performed on a sample of households. It is done every year or 2 years and collects very precise information on the performance of the project. As said before, baseline monitoring consists in the production of a list of end users with detailed information on each one of them. The name, the address, the type of installation, date of installation, number of members in the household are examples of the information requested. The list of end users is a key document because it bases the calculation of most of the indicators of the scheme. The highest level of precision and reliability is thus necessary. To make sure that we reach the highest level of quality for this information, it is requested for each end user of the list to provide a signed delivery act proving that the installation is effective, and a baseline questionnaire giving information on the context of the household. The efficiency and sustainability reporting is a strong focus and specificity of LatIMPACT scheme. In this report, we ask 2 things to the project developer. First, to analyze the lifespan of the project and the factors that can impact the sustainability of it. The idea is to have a strategy and a working plan for sustainability and report year after year on the realization of it. Secondly, we ask the project developers to provide a precise reporting on the cost of their project and the resources available to finance it. This includes a budget forecast for the entire life of the project and the actual financial reporting of the project for the past years. The initial report is done just after the implementation of the project. At this stage, the idea is to understand activities necessary to operate the project and make it sustainable in the long term. The cost of such activities must be also estimated, and a general budget for the entire life of the project must be done. After that, when the project life goes on, the objective of the report is to follow the budget, comparing forecasts to actual financial reporting. It is also the occasion to see if the project evolution corresponds to the forecast, and if the sustainability plan is still valid. Whenever differences between forecast and reality appear, the project budget or the working plan must be updated. The next activity is the periodic monitoring survey. After the project implementation, it is necessary to follow and measure the performance of the project. This periodic monitoring consists in field surveys performed directly with the end users of the project. A statistical approach is followed. The surveys are performed on the sample of end users, and the results are extrapolated to the entire population following conservative statistical rules. Concerning the planning and the organization of the surveys, it must be done every year or every 2 years. The period selected to perform the surveys must be representative of the normal life conditions of the households. For that reason, periods where people are not available because of seasonal peak of works or holidays must be avoided. In the same way, seasons where climate makes difficult the access to the communities can be avoided too. Next, the scope of the surveys include each household that have received access to electricity thanks to the project. The sampling method is a random sampling of 6% of the population. It must be applied on homogeneous subpopulation of end users. The criteria used to define an homogeneous populations are the following. First, the type and the size of the device or service provided to the end users. For example, if a project developer distributes photovoltaic systems of 100 watts and 50 watts, 2 subpopulations must be accounted for each size of device. The second criteria is the geographical context of the population. The localization of an end user in a urban or rural context, in a tropical or mountainous area, can impact the need of the population, changes the working condition of the device, and change the key success factor of the project. In the end, a conservative extrapolation is done on the results of the surveys using a 90% confidence interval with 5% of level of error. Finally, the questionnaire used during the survey must follow the templates provided by LatIMPACT. These templates are public and open to consultation today. You will find it in the Appendix 3 of the attached document. To conclude this presentation, we would like to remind that the scheme we developed can be used by any institution that develops electrification projects in poverty context. The final scheme should be available in June 2015, and the documentation and tools will be accessible for free on the LatIMPACT website. Now, we would like to suggest that you have a look on the draft version of the documentation, which is available on the website of LatIMPACT in the section Electrification Scheme, subsection Public Consultation. And finally, last but not least, we would like to collect your feedback on the scheme. Please click on the link below this YouTube video and answer our questionnaire survey. It won't be long, and all the comments received can improve the scheme and, in the end, help more people to exit energy poverty. Thanks again for your attention, and please refer to LatIMPACT website for more details on the scheme and contact information.